Good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to welcome everybody into another episode, man, of the Urban Minds podcast with Harry Jay Hicks. Thank all y'all, man, for stopping in. Those of y'all that's tuning in. Again, man, you can find the Urban Minds podcast on Pandora, Amazon Music, um, YouTube at Harry Hicks 9952. Again, that's YouTube at Harry Hicks 9952. You can find me on Apple, Spotify, just about everywhere, man. And again, I want to thank y'all in. This is the political edition of the Urban Minds podcast. And again, if you want to support the podcast, you can always go to any of those podcast platforms, like, share, subscribe. If you want to donate monetarily, you can go send at H.Hicks 1976 at PayPal. Again, that's at H.Hicks 1976 at PayPal. That's H.Hicks 1976 at PayPal. Thanks to all of you who already donated. And again, like I said, if you can't donate monetarily, you can always like, share, and comment everywhere you see these videos, man, of this podcast. And again, man, I want to thank everybody for who's been there for me, man, who's supporting the podcast. And just spread the word, man. Like I said, like, share, comment. Uh, about this podcast. That's just really appreciated, man. It's about helping our communities and keeping our communities informed on what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And on this edition of the political uh, aspects of our podcast. So anyway, man, of course, got some, like I said, Donald Trump, man, is so popular. He's making the being president of the United States seems like a soap opera. Every day it's a different episode every day, man. Just like these podcasts, just like your favorite TV show. And he's at it again and again. I try to keep y'all posted on the latest news, man. The latest political news that's going on and how it affects our community. But today, man, we're going to talk about how Trump sends a message with the Department of Justice firings and Deep Seek turns heads. Morning rundown. So this is the morning rundown on that. It says former Department of Justice and FBI officials said the Justice Department's firing of career lawyers involved in the prosecutions of Donald Trump was meant to intimidate the workforce. And of course, man, you know, Donald Trump is really wielding his power, man. He's he's pretty much taking a stronghold on every aspect that the president is allowed to take. Of course, this thing's going to be some lawsuits, and he's trying to file some a motion for him not to be able to sign into a bill that he won't be that he can for him to have immunity for anyone who tries to sue him because of some of these bills and some of these executive orders that he's um, trying to pass or whatever. And like I said, man, and a lot of people didn't want Kamala Harris uh, to be president for whatever reason, whatever their reasons were. But now we're seeing that Trump is like he's trying to make promise on everything that he said he was going to do, from the immigration to pulling back the DEI, scrapping the DEI programs and things like that, man. So yeah, he's definitely uh, doing everything that he said he was going to do. He's not he's not pulling no punches. He's not pulling no punches. And a lot of people say it's payback, it's get back for what happened during the first campaign. It's payback for when he felt that he was cheated during the run for president against Joe Biden. So yes, he's definitely not pulling no punches, man. And it says several Justice Department lawyers involved in Trump investigations are fired. China's DeepSeek AI model sends a shockwave through the tech industry, and North Korean defectors share insight into the mindset of Kim Jong soldiers. Here's what to know today. Trump's Justice Department fired and sent a message, former officials say. So yeah, he's he's definitely holding promise. I'm just gonna play a little video, man, for y'all to see about what's going on with this situation. But it's not it's getting serious, y'all.
In a single week, I've taken over 350 executive actions.
As President Trump asserts his government makeover.
I also signed an order to end the weaponization of our government against the American people.
New tonight, a number of Department of Justice lawyers fired by the acting attorney general for playing a, quote, significant role in prosecuting President Trump. And new reaction after the president removed more than a dozen inspectors general, the independent watchdogs at agencies. While presidents hire and fire IGs, President Trump failed to provide required 30-day notification to Congress. Mike Ware is one of those dismissed.
We're looking at what amounts to a threat to democracy, a threat to independent oversight.
New policies for the Pentagon. According to a White House fact sheet, the orders would reinstate those who were dismissed for refusing the COVID vaccine with full back pay and benefits. Another touts restoring merit and abolishes any remnant of the diversity, equity, and inclusion bureaucracy. Citing military readiness, an order affecting transgender service members would prohibit males from using or sharing facilities designated for females, and ends use of identification-based pronouns. Also new, the White House released in black and white this official portrait of First Lady Melania Trump.
Kelly, there's another headline tonight with President Trump's cabinet.
That's right. The Senate easily confirmed Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
So yeah, man, Trump he's coming down hard, and like I say, he's trying to run this country like authoritarian, man. He's really like I said, every issue he said that he was going to combat or that he was going to push through, every executive order. And he's given that power to do it. Like I don't think I've seen too many presidents have as much power as I'm seeing Donald Trump having right now early on in his campaign. Like, will a lot of these things be stopped? I think they will, because you have some people on his side of the aisle, meaning the Republican Party, that's not on board with everything that he's trying to do. And I think that's why he's trying to push it out real fast, why he got the momentum, being that he's just coming into the White House. So, in that first 100 days, I think he's trying to get as much done as he can of his agenda. You know what I'm saying? And being that, the Republicans, they got a small lead in the House or whatever, they're going to try to outvote the Democrats or the Liberal Party to push a lot of his agenda through. So yeah, it's like it's real. You know what I mean? It's real, man. It's real. But we're just gonna have to see what happens, man. If like I said, I think a lot of people is gonna have to and that's why I say, man, your vote matters, man, but you have to vote responsibly. Like a lot of people I think be voting for a lot of the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like you have that right to vote for whoever you want to vote for or whatever you want to vote for. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of us are misguided with our votes. A lot of us are misinformed. And that's why, the Urban Mind podcast, that's why I'm here to try to inform people, just get a different perspective on how things affect our community and certain rights and things of that nature that could be affected when it comes to our communities. So yeah, it's I think it's going to be an uphill climb for him to push everything through, but I'm telling you, he's trying to push as much as he can. And again, like we want to see if we're going to regret not getting Kamala Harris into office, or if because Trump is trying to bring back, like they say, restore American. Restore America. America's traditions, where it's man and woman. There's nothing in between. He's just trying to bring back. I want to say things like that, but I think he's dismantling a lot of things, man. Like I say, he's using his power while he got the time, and he's definitely doing that. Like he's definitely doing that, man. So it's It's not. I don't think it's going to be easy for a lot of people, but if you look at the conservative values, that this is how they view the country. You know what I'm saying? It's a man and woman. They don't feel that you have the right to get an abortion, they're saying that God bless you with a child, you're supposed to have it. So but a lot of people saying that they're trying to control people's body. Like I said, he's running like authoritarian, and we're just gonna see how things turn out on that, man. But and I'm gonna get into something else, man. I say the Democrats' playbook for Trump 2.0: tune out the noise and focus on economic issues. As Trump floods the zone in his first week in office, Democrats are departing from their resistance strategy in his first term and zeroing in on issues that cost them the last election. Um, so it said House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and other Democrats are trying to focus on pocketbook issues in the early days of President Donald Trump's term. That's why they didn't do. And again, see now, sometimes it's too little, too late. I think they should have focused on this during the election instead of focusing on the migrants, trying to justify why they brought the migrants in. But a lot of people think it was just to grab votes. It cost a lot of people tax dollars. You know what I'm saying? The American people, the American citizens, it cost us a lot of tax dollars with the migrants. Um, and I understand they did it because they didn't want to separate the women the child from their families. So remember, when they had the bringing them in from the border, they was taking them to like basically, excuse me, they was taking them to camps or whatever, the children, and they were sending their parents back to Mexico or Colombia or wherever they was coming from, and they was keeping the children, they were detaining the children pretty much, and it was like, and that could really mess up kids' psyche, you know what I mean? So they decided to say, okay, we're gonna let the parents come and be they're gonna bring the families. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we have good intentions, but sometimes, you know what I mean, it don't work out always like that because you don't know who these people really are. You're not getting the full background of these people, and that's been a crime, you know what I mean? And now you have to take care of these people, so you have to use American tax dollars and things like that to provide for these families, these extra families. But a lot of families in America are struggling. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it cost them. But it says less than 48 hours after President Donald Trump was inaugurated, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries held a closed-door meeting with Democratic lawmakers to issue a warning and a clarion call. The new administration was going to flood the zone, and Democrats could afford to chase every single outrage, or nothing was going to sink in for the American people, Jeffries told them, according to a person in the room who requested anonymity to discuss the private meeting. So Democrats are now they're trying to fight back and they're trying to, you know what I'm saying? See, they're trying to correct their mistakes so for the next election, maybe you know what I mean? They're trying to get back in touch with the American people. I see that's what, and I think Donald Trump is a wake up call to a lot of people. Donald Trump is a wake up call to a lot of people, especially in the political world. He's a wake up call, and we're seeing, and like I said, he's really wielding his power, and that's what it is, man. And the Democrats now they want to try to come together and figure out where did we go wrong, how are we going to fix it, and how can we regain the American trust, the trust of the American people again, because they lost that. They was pushing the transgender uh, issue, and a lot of people wasn't feeling that. And then you have some black people, I mean, African American people who felt that they were trying to incorporate our rights with their rights, where a lot of people think that we should have our own sets, our own rights, and like I said, you're not going to please everybody. And they felt that was taken away from the civil rights movement. But the civil rights movement wasn't about man can become female, female can become man. The civil rights movement was about us as a people. It wasn't about the other minority people or the immigrants and things like that. That was not what the civil rights was about. The civil rights was came about for us to be able to gain access to certain things, medical hospitals, food restaurants and you know what I mean schools and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So we get the proper education, the proper medical help and things like that. So we wasn't civil rights didn't mean okay everybody except for the white people can get these rights and things like that. No, it wasn't about that. But and that's why a lot of people turned away from Kamala Harris them too because they feel that they was pushing more of that a lot of people the everybody together movement where the civil rights wasn't about that. Civil rights was for black people to be able to vote. You know what I'm saying and stuff like that. So that's where they kind of like turned the Democratic Party off. You know what I mean? So, and then like I said, and the Republicans capitalized on that. You know, and that's why I don't think the Republicans was. Uh, a lot of people think, oh, they're going to do more for black people. No, they just heard our issues and took that and used that against the Democrats, but the issues will still remain. That's how I feel. I feel that the issues are going to still remain, but they use that against the Democrats to get into power. You know, and this is what we have now. You know, so but it's a lot going on, man. And we already see that public schools try to protect undocumented students from Trump immigration raids. A recent move by Trump allows immigration authorities to conduct raids at schools. Multiple school districts have pledged to complicate the efforts. At least 8 large public school districts across the United States have vowed in recent days to try to protect undocumented immigrant students and their families from President Donald Trump's mass deportation push. The Trump administration has removed restrictions that prevented immigration and customs enforcement from conducting raids at so-called sensitive locations, including schools as well as houses of worship and hospitals. So at the end of the day, man, Donald Trump is trying to, like I said, he's wielding the power. He's not allowing the undocumented immigrants to stay in this country, whether they in schools, whether they in churches, you know. And the Democrats are trying to stop that. And like I said, I understand I understand both sides of the spectrum. Is basically what I want to say. The Republicans feel that if they're undocumented, they're not supposed to be. They're here illegally. They broke a law. Coming into this country illegally is breaking the law. You know, that's the point. That's first and foremost. The Democrats are saying these people came to this country to seek refuge, to get better education, to get better health care. You know what I mean? To be able to provide for their families where they couldn't do in their countries. But that's why it's procedures and it's a process that you have to go through to be able to do these things. You know, you have to go through uh, due process. Like you have to have your due process. We have to know your background. When you come, you can't just come into this country and we know nothing about you. You could be a serial killer in your other country, anything, a serial rapist, whatever. But you can't come into this country and illegally. Okay, if you come in this country the right way, or the legal way, then you know we all for it. You know what I mean? But coming in this country illegally, where we don't have no background on you, we don't know what's going on. That's like when we go for jobs, they do background checks. You have to know somebody's background. You don't know what this individual is capable of. And again, you have, you know what I'm saying, you have people that really want to cause America harm, terrorists and things like that. Who's to say they can't go to these countries, come across the border illegally, being here undocumented, and something happens? You've seen about the story, I think a week ago, when the guy was in on Capitol Hill, one of those, the Senate, something, he went in one of these places, man, and with a gun, and they say this guy had mental health issues. So we don't know what the intentions of a lot of these people that's coming to this country. A lot of them are former gang members from their country. A lot of them are part of the cartels. So we don't know. So I understand the Republican side of it as well. You know what I mean? So, and they feel like it's a threat to our country. And then the Democrats feel that what Trump is doing is a threat to the democracy. So it's like that's what it is. One side is looking at it as a threat to our country. The other side is looking at it as a threat to democracy or what democracy stands for. But at the end of the day, the root issue of this is you can't come into this country illegally. If you're coming in here illegally, we don't know who you are. We don't know who you're capable of. That means you're coming in here without anybody knowing your background. And they use their children to get into this country, and that's what it is. I'm just calling it how I see it. Like I'm saying, this is my opinion. You're all are welcome to comment, man, on any platform. Like I told you, I'm on almost all major podcast platforms. Wherever you find your podcast, I just type in the Urban Minds Podcast, and I should be there. But again, man, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. But yeah, this is a lot going on in the political world, and it starts with Donald Trump. Like I said, like these first 100 days, I think he's going to try to wield his power, and as we say, throw his weight around, man, and try to uh, push every agenda, every law, every executive order that he signed. You know what I mean? I think he's going to try to put all of that into play. I don't agree with all of his tactics of all of his orders, all of his bills. My concern is how it's going to affect the urban community, which is the community that I live in, people like me live in, and I mean, I just want to let everybody know how it affects us, man, and we just have to see what happens. Again, man, thank y'all for tuning in. That's for another episode of the political edition, man, of the Urban Minds Podcast. Again, y'all can support this podcast by sharing, and commenting this podcast at YouTube, at Harry Hicks 9952. You can also donate. You can go to castos.com. That's Castos, Castos. And like I said, on all of the podcast platforms, you can donate $1, $5, $10, whatever. And you can also send donations to at h.hicks, HICKS 1976, and that's at PayPal. Again, man, I thank all y'all for coming in. You welcome to come in, man, and be a special guest. Just let me know if you want to be a guest on this podcast. You might have something you want to talk about. You might have something you want to advertise, your items, your product. You know what I mean? Your podcast or whatever. Everybody's welcome, man, to come and join this show. Again, man, I love y'all. I want to thank y'all for all the support. Um, and remember the book American Allies. We had a little hold up on that, but it's coming out soon. It's already available on in the ebook. I'm just waiting to get the clarifications on the paperback. But the ebook American Allies by Jay Hicks is out. You can find that on Amazon. Go to your Amazon Kindle store. Type in American Allies /Jay Hicks, and it should come. I'll be sending the link out to those of you who want the link to the book. But it's a very good book, very educational. You know what I'm saying? And thank y'all, man. Like I said, thank y'all again. And I appreciate everybody that's supporting me, man. And remember, love and peace always. Peace.